Welcome back to another episode of Rock Boys Football. Some massive news coming out for this Michigan program on the recruiting trails. Four-star quarterback Brady Hart in the 2026 class committing to this Michigan program. And I think the first thing where you start with Brady Hart and you take a look at him and just say, this kid was born to play quarterback for this Michigan program. And I think it starts with him just being a winner at the high school level. And you go back to what, as Michigan fans, we always appreciated the most about JJ McCarthy is he just won a ton of games for this Michigan program. And you'll hear a lot of outside voices talk about the stat line, talk about the production. I think continually us Michigan fans would just say, well, yeah, he's winning football games. He's playing good in the big moments. And that's what matters. That's what you want in a quarterback. And Brady Hart, you take a look at him during his sophomore year, 14-1 state champ. He's shown the ability to win big time football games at the high school level. And I think the second thing that you absolutely love about Brady Hart is just the command of the offense. Going back to JJ McCarthy, not putting up crazy stat lines, but whenever you watch JJ McCarthy play the quarterback position for this Michigan program, he always just showed such command of the offense. I mean, the ball was going where it needed to go on time, accurately. That's what you see from Brady Hart on the film as well. Not only do I love the quarterback and Brady Hart, I love this fit within this Michigan program. Massive get for Kirk Campbell, Sherrone Moore. And, we've been saying this the last couple of weeks. Michigan really picking up some steam on the recruiting trail, fired up to get into the film. Before we do it, as always, just want to say, thank you to you guys and to the Michigan fans. Y'all know I'm a massive Michigan fan. It has been just an absolute blast talking this program on the recruiting trail over the last couple of weeks. And the amount of support, the amount of Go Blues that you guys have thrown in the comment section, that stuff, it truly does mean the world. If y'all do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel. For us Michigan fans, it's going to be a really fun next couple of weeks for this Michigan program on the recruiting trail. And without further ado, let's get into Brady Hart, and I think you got to start with just the production, right? We talked about him being a 14-1 state champ during his sophomore year of high school. I think what's just as impressive is the production he had as a sophomore. Threw for over 3,700 yards, 41 touchdowns to only 11 interceptions with a 66% completion percentage. I mean, really impressive productivity for Brady Hart at the high school level. And then you get into the film and at least a couple of words that came to my mind was one, cerebral. And this is a guy that is just going to pick apart defenses from the pocket, shows exceptional command of the offense. And I think the thing that stands out in terms of the arm talent is the ball placement is almost perfect every single time. I mean, you see Brady Hart make some extremely high-level throws to some tight windows as a sophomore in high school. There is so much to like about Brady Hart, and I think one thing to note before we get into the film is there's been a lot of noise around Michigan recruiting the wide receiver position. I think a lot of that has to do with the quarterback position. And you look at wide receivers, and one of the things that they are looking for is, hey, who is going to get me the football during my time at Michigan? Having Brady Hart locked into this 2026 class extremely early on, I mean, that's going to be a massive selling point for some of these wide receivers on the recruiting trail. You think back to JJ McCarthy committing to Michigan, very similar time period that Brady Hart's committing to Michigan in this 2026 class. You all of a sudden have, I would say, kind of your captain of the 2026 class, the guy that is going out and recruiting other players, specifically in the state of Florida. I always think it's massive to get your quarterbacks locked in early. Brady Hart locking in the summer of 2024 is massive for this Michigan program. Without further ado, let's get into the film of Brady Hart. And again, it's really fun film to watch, and it's not always flashy film, but it's just, you kind of appreciate the command that this kid shows in the pocket. I mean, 6'5", 190 pounds. He has a very good stature in the pocket, and he's just delivering the absolute dimes consistently. You fire it up and say, one, really good pocket presence, just stepping up, delivering really good footballs across the middle of the field, ball placement exceptionally well, has a really smooth stroke, and a guy that can throw on the run for sure. And again, that's a throw that I think kind of gets overlooked a lot by college football fans. Not an easy throw, throwing from the opposite hash to the boundary on the run. It's right on target. I mean, the ball placement consistently for Brady Hart is extremely impressive. This is an absolutely silly throw. I mean, talk about high-level throws where this football can go to one spot and he puts it right there. I mean, those are some of those high level throws that we saw JJ McCarthy make that won us some massive football games. You think about that Roman Wilson throw against Ohio State where there was one spot that football could go to. JJ McCarthy puts it there. You see Brady Hart deliver very similar throws. And I love how he attacks zone coverage. I mean, he finds throwing windows, throws his wide receivers into throwing windows, and then lets them operate after the catch. I mean, these are some of the things that you're talking about. A sophomore quarterback in high school showing it kind of feels like he's been playing collegiate football for an extremely long time, can push the ball down the field exceptionally well. There's not really a throw that I think Brady Hart cannot make on the film. I think that's really impressive. Really tough kid, too. He takes a lot of hits in the pocket, stands in there, delivers really good footballs. Again, another nice throw attack and zone coverage. Really quick. The ball is consistently getting out quick with Brady Hart. And I think that's another thing that is massive when you take a look at college football quarterbacks holding on to the football. Brady Hart, I mean, he's just getting the football out so quick. It's on time. It's to the right spots. And the command of the offense is absolutely exceptional. Now, this might be my favorite throw that you see on Brady Hart's film. You get into this throw and say, I mean, how many high school quarterbacks were sophomore in high school? You look at where he needs to throw this attack and zone coverage. He needs to throw his wide receiver to this throwing window. And that's exactly what he does, right? And he hits him in stride, leading to a chunk play. I mean, that type of stuff for a sophomore in high school is extremely impressive. And I think Brady Hart puts that all together on the film. Again, he's a tough kid, can stand in there, take hits, deliver footballs. Again, kind of has that it factor to him. I see that linebacker coming in that A-gap blitz here, and we're just going to get the ball out quick to our receiver. I think this is a massive get for Michigan. And again, two things that I would note is, one, you get your quarterback locked in early. Now he's recruiting for you on the recruiting trail, specifically in the state of Florida, where it's a very talent-rich state. And I think secondly, you look at Brady Hart and say, this is a really good quarterback, but he's such a good fit in this Michigan offense in terms of what he excels at. I love this get. You can kind of feel Michigan building some momentum on the recruiting trail. We're probably going to dive into a little bit more film of Brady Hart during this summer, but we'll cut it there. Appreciate you guys rocking with the fellas. Again, if y'all do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel, and we'll talk to y'all later.